Hey, Vic, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Pat Surtain had 2 interceptions. Teddy, can you sort of take us through what you saw in those 2 plays and just his instincts on those?
Yeah. Well, first off, Pat has great hands and great ball anticipation, and both of them came in handy right there. Those are big plays. The first one, probably saves 3 points. They probably would kick a field goal there, although they could have went for it on 4th down. And the next one, they're in field goal range again, and it becomes 7 points for us. So those are 2 big swings in the game and big plays.
Yeah, Coach, can you take us through Teddy's injury there? I think it was the first quarter. Drew coming in, and then what happened to let Teddy back into the game there?
Yeah, he suffered a shin injury. I don't have all the particulars, but for you guys that have ever had a shin injury, kind of swells up real quick, which his did. They had to take some tests to make sure nothing was happening underneath it. And he toughed it out. He was nowhere near 100% in that second half. And but he toughed it out and led the offense. Offensively in the second half, we only had 3 possessions. And the first one wasn't good. We went 3 and out. Second one, we got the big touchdown drive for Eric Saubert's first touchdown, which was a great play on Teddy's part. And then the third drive we had in the second half was the 4-minute, and we ran the clock out. So 2 out of 3 drives in the second half were excellent. Statistically, I don't even know what it's going to say we had 302 yards, but, which is kind of pedestrian, but it really was a pretty good day offensively in light of how the game unfolded, because they had some long drives on us in the second half. And I see here we were 8 of 11 on 3rd down offensively. You do that and run it 33 times, you're on your way to a good chance of winning.
Teddy was under sharp criticism after the Philly game because of the one play, the tackle, but you stood behind him. What does that fourth quarter drive mean to you in terms of Teddy and what it kind of does with his standing?
Yeah, Teddy's toughness is unquestioned when you talk about him. And I didn't question it in the big picture. And, like I've said, some of you have asked me, he's our quarterback. And it's as simple as that.
How impressed were you with the defense there on the field a lot in the third quarter? Didn't give up any points. And then Bradley Chubb, what do you think of him?
Yeah, it was great to have him back. I don't know exactly how many plays he played. The way the game was going in the first half, he could have played a lot of plays because we had a 3 and out, a 3 and out. Then they did have a 10-play drive. Then they had a 5 and 6-play drive. That lends itself to getting a lot of snaps proportionately when you're trying to pitch count a guy. But then when the 2 long drives in the second half, that's when it starts taking its toll, and you got to watch how much you're playing him. But we were thrilled to have him back. We love the guy. He's a great player. I'm glad he got this under his belt, and hopefully bigger and better things are coming.
I got 2 for you. If Drew doesn't throw that interception, does it make the decision to bring Teddy back in the second half a little harder? And then right before halftime, did you think about calling the timeout before clocking it and then maybe running the play and clocking it if you pick up more yards to set up a field goal?
No, we just took a little too long a time there. I was wanting to save the timeout so we could throw it anywhere and try a long field goal, but it didn't work out. What was the first part of your question?
If Drew doesn't throw the pick?
I don't think so. No.
Vic, in the second half, I think you only had one week 1 offensive starter on the offensive line that was in the game. Just a lot of guys filling in that spot, still run for over 150 yards. What was just your impression of how those guys filled in?
I thought those guys did a great job. Quinn Bailey comes off the practice squad and plays a ton of plays against some good pass rushers. And obviously we ran the ball. So thrilled for him. Moody comes in, his first actions he's had in a while. Thrilled for him. And we already had backups out there. So, unfortunately, we seem to have the patent on losing guys, even no matter how hard we try not to. So I'm anticipating that tide will turn at some point.
Vic, you've talked about the depth of the offensive line. Follow up on that, was today kind of a reassertion that you do have some good depth there? And
when Calvin plays for us, I'm not worried. When Quinn goes in there, Meinertz, and plays, I'm not worried. Moody, I'm not worried. We have good quality depth. and to see a guy like Bailey go in there and play in a game this late in the season that has some meaning to it and play as well as he did. Now, I haven't watched him, I'll give him a grade after the tape, but just to go in there and for our offense to operate well in 2 of those 3 drives, is credit to him and credit to Munch and Coop for bringing him along.
And we saw Calvin carted off, but any update on Dalton and his back?
His back, I don't have an update on him. It's, I think, more of a day-to-day, week-to-week type thing. I don't have a big update for you.
In terms of Bradley Chubb, did you kind of keep him on a play count? Did he go over that, and did he express any discomfort health-wise in the game?
I don't know. Okay, I left John Pagano in charge of that during the game. I'm too busy calling defenses. I left it up to John. We had an idea what we'd like, but again, it goes back to how the game's going. If you're getting a bunch of long drives on you, he's not going to play as much. If you're getting 3 and outs, 4 and outs, you got a better chance of him proportionately playing more of the snaps. So I don't know how many he played. I did tell John once we went up 28-7 to keep him out of the next drive.
Do you think you had Herbert a little confused with the pressure you brought on him? You brought a lot of pressure, and then also any added satisfaction, that you beat your protege there?
No. During the game, I had 0 thoughts that Brandon was on the other sideline. It's the Broncos versus the Chargers. It has nothing to do with Brandon and myself. Brandon's doing a great job with that team. I'm happy for him. I wish he was in another division, so we don't have to do this twice a year. But I had 0 thought of that. And we just played good on defense. We really didn't add a 5th rusher much. I would say 7 or 8 times at the, and we just kind of played coverage and tried to. The danger of that is, it's his scrambling when you're rushing 4, because he's really good at that. And he did it a few times. I'm sure he was their leading rusher. So that's the danger. So we were able to survive that part of it.
2 questions. Number 1, when you head back to the locker room at halftime, how certain are you that Teddy will be back out there? And the second question is, season's been a bit of a roller coaster, had some adversity. What does it mean to you and the fellows in the room to get to play for first place next week?
Coming in off the field, I didn't know. Going back out, I knew he was going to give it a chance. We were on defense first, so he was going to run around and take some drops and see how it felt. And I had said if he feels good and he says he could go, we'll go with him. Yeah, we seem to bring the adversity on us, even the end of the half today, we brought that on ourselves. And we just keep overcoming it. And hopefully we can keep playing meaningful games here moving forward. We got 6 left. Prior years we would have said 5. And a lot of big games. And we're excited to be in the hunt. This is a resilient group.
Vic,
Nick and then Ryan.
Baron Browning and Kenny Young are both relatively new to your scheme. How much did the bye week help kind of them to, just get more film and get everything in to play the way they did?
Yeah, the bye week helped a little, but, the bye weeks, with the new CBA, you don't do – it's not like when bye weeks first started years ago when we would practice Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday and give them the weekend off. That's not the mode of operation anymore. So we did watch film on him. And it probably helped some. He's been putting in extra work. He comes up and beats with me some, for extra. But to say relatively new, you're kind of not telling the whole story there for both of those guys. And it's kind of, I've got to always be aware of it. We're not going in with all of our calls that we normally would, say if Josie and AJ were in there. But that's called adapt and adjust, INA. Improvise and adjust, and you got to do it.
Hey, Vic, 2 for you. Without Shelby, how was your front hold up against their run game and then game balls?
Yeah, they did a good job. They didn't try and run it a whole lot, you know, the stats will, you know, because all of Herbert's rushes were pass plays. They ran it 13 times, you know, for 36 yards. So that's a good job overall. And, you know, for us to do that without Shelby in there is kudos to the guys there. Kudos to Bill for having those guys ready. And hopefully we'll get Shelby back here soon.
And then game balls.
Yeah, I gave one to Pat Surtain. Gave one to Saubert for his first career touchdown, which I was surprised to hear. He's been a great pickup for our team. You know, he's one of those glue type of guys. Hard worker, does anything. He's tough, smart. He's been good for those young tight ends to be around. I gave one to Teddy for coming back in the second half, not 100%. And I gave one to Quinn Bailey for coming off the practice squad. So, and then coming off the practice squad first and then off the bench to go play. Thank you very much, Coach. All right, thank you, everybody.